What is going on, IE Sports Radio and IE Elite Wrestling Show fans? It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again, live on the air with an all-new special Wednesday edition of the IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio. Brought to you once again by the great folks at Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options and contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate. It's low in sugar and it's absolutely high in protein. All this good, healthy stuff that you need. This is some of the best jerky you can get your hands on, and I know we were running a little raffle. Planet Jerky, was running a little raffle that ended yesterday. But please go to planetjerky.net, check them out, give them a follow on Instagram at Planet Jerky, and DM them. Let them know that you tried them out because you heard it first here on the IE Elite Wrestling Show with the family and backing of IE Sports Radio. Once again, huge shout out to our sponsor, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. The jerky that's on a whole other planet, brother. So yeah, shout out to Planet Jerky once again. Just wanted to get that out there for y'all. Planet Jerky doing the thing, still helping us right now, keeping the lights on here in the IE Sports Radio family. It's your boy, the SoCal Saint. And man, I do apologize. I was not able to be with you guys yesterday on my normal scheduled time, the same SoCal Saint time and channel. But I'm here today on a special Wednesday edition. And what makes it even more special is that we are just 2 days away 3 days away from this Saturday, August 5th on Peacock. If you're going to be watching it on the streaming service, Peacock, the WWE Network if you're watching it internationally, or if you're actually going to be live in Detroit at Ford Field, SummerSlam. Yes, SummerSlam this coming Saturday, August 5th. It's the biggest party of the summer, and it's a stacked card. Pretty much every match on the card could be a main event, and this is just a whole premium live event full of main events. We're going to talk about that here very shortly. We're going to go over the card and my picks for who I believe, how I feel should be the winners and losers of that night. Also, we're going to get into, I want to do a little something different here since this is a SummerSlam edition. I want to go over my top 10. This is in my opinion because I know, like comedy, like film, like music even, professional wrestling matches are very selective. It's very, it's very opinionated. Everyone has different opinions. So I'm giving you, this isn't from a list I found online or anything like that. This is, in my opinion, the top 10 best of all time SummerSlam matches. So I will be doing a countdown here toward the end of the show as well. We're going to give a quick little rundown of this past weekend's premium live event. This past Sunday, NXT was live on Peacock with the Great American Bash that came live at Cedar Park, Texas. And but we got some news to go into as well. But let's get into that. That was this past Sunday. It was the 25th Great American Bash event overall. The Great American Bash was a tradition that started in the NWA back in the 1980s, continued through WCW until it was acquired by the WWE in 2001, and then WWE brought back the tradition of the Great American Bash as a SmackDown-only pay-per-view event back in the mid-2000s. The early to mid 2000s, and now NXT is bringing that tradition back. I feel like it's like a tribute to Dusty. Rest in peace to Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, who created that concept, like a lot of other concepts that NXT and WWE still use to this day, a la War Games. That's one of them. Most definitely, he created that concept as well. Of course, for those who are been living under a rock for the last their entire life, pretty much, Dusty Rhodes is the father the Hall of Fame father of current WWE superstar, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So this past Sunday at Cedar Park, Texas, at the HEB Center in Cedar Park, it was actually a really great card. I was at work as the show was going on, but I was watching it in between calls, and there was a lot of great matches going on. The premium, see, this is what I'm talking about, okay? See, I harped on this a lot, especially with AEW, with their overblown shows. Like, they just got to fit everyone on the card. They just got to have an overabundance of wrestling matches. I feel like they just beat it into you, and it makes it really hard to really just enjoy the show. I know some of the AEW diehards are in denial and just kind of having Stockholm Syndrome when it comes to Tony Khan and the way he books shows. They think he can do no wrong. But I feel one of the biggest criticisms that everyone should take note of is his overblown pre-shows. He always puts about 5 or 6 matches on a damn pre-show and then gives you about 12 other matches on the main show. No one needs to sit through a 5 to 6 hour wrestling show. It just takes the wind out of fans, and by the time you get to the main event, it feels like they have nothing left for those guys and gals in the main event that are trying to work their damnedest to put on a good match for you. It just doesn't make sense. And this is my critique of the WWE. They do the complete opposite, which is great. They had one match on a 1 hour pre-show card, which is fantastic because the pre-show is dedicated to getting you up to date with the storylines and preview of the matches that were to come on the pay-per-view, and that is what the pre-show should be. It shouldn't be a separate show on top of the show you're already paying to see. You know what I mean? That is my whole opinion about the overblown pre-shows that Tony Khan has on his Ring of Honor and AEW shows. This past Sunday, they only had one match on the NXT Great American Bash pre-show, and it was the team of Nathan Frazier, Yulissa Leone, Valentina Feroz, and Dragon Lee in an 8-person mixed tag team match defeating the team of Meta 4. That's the team of Noam Dar, Jakari Jackson, Lash Legend, and Oro Mensah by pinfall in a fantastic 10-minute, nearly 11-minute match. Great. It showcased all the superstars for the fans, especially if that was their first time seeing these type of superstars in action. So it was great. Everybody got to showcase their skills. They had a great match. It got the crowd hyped and hot for the event. That's exactly what you need. You need just one match to get everyone hyped up for the actual main card, and that's exactly what this match did. It served its purpose. And then the card started with a great opening match. The Family, Tony D'Angelo, the Dawn of NXT, and Channing Stacks Lorenzo, the underboss of NXT, defeated Galus, Wolfgang, and Mark Coffey to become the new NXT Tag Team Champions. Great match. The crowd was hot for D'Angelo and Stacks. They put on a great match. Gallus had a lot of heat, and they put on a fantastic match. This was probably the best tag team match I've seen these two guys in, these two teams in, since this feud began between the Family and Gallus. And D'Angelo and Stacks finally obtaining NXT Gold. Fantastic. Congratulations to D'Angelo and Stacks. The next match on the card was another banger. I'm trying not to use that very often because I feel like it's getting played out now. But it really was. This was a great, great match. Hometown girl herself, Roxanne Perez, defeated Blair Davenport in a Weapons Wild match, which, I mean, it could have been called an Extreme Rules match, honestly, because that's exactly what it was. But, I mean, it was the majority of it was spent on the weapons that they used. Roxanne's mother was in the crowd with her little sister. Roxanne is a spitting image of her mother. Man, her mom and her look like sisters. I thought that was her sister, and then I was corrected that was her mother, and the little girl sitting next to her was her sister. So, yeah, Roxanne, she's very young, but she's so talented for her age. She's only, 21, 22 years old. She's already had such a great career in her short time in the professional wrestling world. She's a former Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. She's a former NXT Women's World Champion, and now she's putting on a great match here against Blair Davenport. I'm sure the feud will continue. I don't feel like this was the cap off. I just feel like this is the extending of the story. But it was a great victory for Roxanne. Great match by the ladies. They put on a hell of a match. It was fantastic. I have nothing wrong to say about this match. Nothing at all. No criticism. The next match, wow, was not expecting this. It was Baron Corbin going one-on-one with the debut of the Olympic gold medalist, Gable Steveson. Gable Steveson, of course, signed with the WWE after winning his gold medal a couple of years ago. And we haven't really seen much of him. They started to bring him into NXT. They showcased him on WWE television at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas. He had a little thing here and just to kind of put him out there, but he really hasn't really been doing much. He was still training, and there was rumors going around that he wasn't really developing like they thought he would. I think in their mind he was going to have a Kurt Angle like take to the wrestling business, because Kurt Angle, former Olympic gold medalist as well, he took to wrestling like a fish takes to water. Like it was like second nature to Kurt. Like he picked it up right away. I heard rumors that Gable was not the same, unfortunately. But we should see. I was excited because I wanted to see what this kid had, what this kid was going to present. But man, this crowd just shat all over this poor kid. When the fans are chanting for Baron Corbin, who for the last 5, 6, 7 years he's been on the main roster, has go away heat. Like he gets booed just at the mere presence and the mere just utterance of his name, because people just don't give a shit about you. Like myself, I don't really give two shits about fucking Baron Corbin. But man, this poor kid, Gable Steveson, they were chanting, "You're not Angle, you're not Angle," which he's not trying to be. He's trying to be himself. But man, this Cedar Park crowd, which I was not expecting that from a Texas wrestling crowd, let alone an NXT Texas wrestling crowd. Man, they shat all over Gable Steveson. Everything he did was backed up by resounding boos for the Olympic gold medalist, and nothing but cheers, out of character cheers for Baron Corbin. And the match ended in a double count out. The fans booed and then started chanting, "Bullshit, bullshit." This was definitely not a highlight for the show. It was definitely a black spot on the show. Probably the only black spot on the entire show was Stevenson's unfortunately terrible debut against Baron Corbin. And it's not so much that he was terrible in the ring, because I thought Gable did a fairly good job, actually. I thought Gable was crisp. He's still very green. He's still very, very green. This was his first official match, but I thought he did a stand-up job for what he was given. It's just the fans just were not putting up with it. They just had it. I don't know what it was with Gable Steveson. I don't know what the deal is, but that NXT crowd did not care for it whatsoever. The next match on the card saved the show for sure, because this was definitely a highlight of the show. It was a triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. Dirty Dominic Mysterio, the current North American champion, with Mommy by his side, the WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley of the Judgment Day, defeated Wesley and Mustafa Ali in an awesome triple threat match. Ali was pinned. It was Wesley. Wesley was pinned after a frog splash after receiving a 450 splash from Mustafa. Mustafa was just an inch away from winning the match. 1, 2. Rhea Ripley drags him out of the ring, which gives Dominic the opportunity to hit a big frog splash and pin Wesley to retain the NXT North American title. And in the semi-main event, a submission match for the NXT Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton defeated Thea Hale with Andre Chase and Duke Hudson of Chase University by Thea's side by technical submission, because Duke Hudson, the leader of Chase University, decided to throw in the towel for his protege Thea Hale, because she was stuck in an armbar submission and was refusing to submit. Her arm could have been broken. Tiffany Stratton was just laying it in there, putting all her weight into that armbar, and Andre Chase, rather than watch his protege be taken out, he had to do what was best for her, and throw in the towel, which was unfortunate, but it was a great match. Tiffany Stratton is definitely coming into her own as a very heel, diva-esque champion. She's a diva. She's like a diva harking back to the Divas era of WWE definitely in looks and presentation. But as far as in-ring skills, she's leaps and bounds above a lot of those divas from back in the day. And that may be hard to hear for some fans of the divas from back in the day. But Tiffany Stratton does have a solid work skill. She's very solid in the ring. She came out. It was cool. Her Titantron looked like a Barbie Dreamhouse, and her name popped up on the screen in Barbie writing, the pink and white letters, and she was basically dressed like a cowboy Barbie. She came out with a pink cowboy hat, and her outfit was very Barbie-esque. So definitely going into the whole Barbie phenomenon that we're currently in the film world at the moment. Tiffany Stratton still continuing as NXT Women's Champion. And in the main event, Carmelo Hayes defended the NXT Championship successfully. He had his buddy Trick Williams by his side against Ilya Dragunov. There was really no ill will between these two. This was not like a bad guy versus good guy. This was two guys solid in the ring. Ilya Dragunov won his right to be the number one contender, and Carmelo Hayes, the champion, gave him his championship match here in the main event of the Great American Bash. And these guys put on a hell of a match, just beat the living snot out of each other. I feel like this was a match that really needed to happen for Carmelo. Carmelo is very, very, very good in the ring. I know I say that a lot. He's very talented. He's got it. He's solid. He's got the charisma. He's got the look. He's got the skills. But he needed a match like this with a guy like Ilya Dragunov, just a tough son of a bitch, just no nonsense in the ring. He's going to smack you, he's going to slap you, he's going to pound you into the mat no matter what. And he's going to leave your chest red and callous and bleeding and broken. And that's the only way that I feel like Carmelo Hayes could come out of this match looking like a strong champion, is defeating someone like a Dragunov. They had a very British strong style type match, just beating the hell out of each other over and over again for almost 30 minutes. Somehow Carmelo retained the title, hitting the nothing but net leg drop from the top rope. 1, 2, 3, Carmelo Hayes continuing his awesome reign as NXT champion, and that is how the Great American Bash came to a close. So that was a great show. A very awesome show, guys, by NXT. They should be very happy with themselves. They put on a hell of a match, a hell of a show, and it definitely got me pumped for this weekend's SummerSlam, which we'll get into here shortly. We're going to take a short little break here and hear from one of our awesome affiliates, one of our other members, actually the head honcho of IE Sports Radio, Larry B. Take it away, Larry.
What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Callum Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head prime-time face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
What's good, everyone? It's IE Sports Radio's premier professional wrestling show, the IE Elite Wrestling Show. Your direct feed for all that is sports. Excuse me. Oh, damn, I did it again. Your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio. I'm sure Larry's going to give me shit for that, but hey, mistakes happen. What's going on? I see y'all in the chat room. Larry B. and Taryn Rodriguez, IE Sports Radio fam in the house. What's good, gentlemen? Glad you're here. I'm glad you're here to listen to the IE Elite Wrestling Show. If you didn't hear at the top of the hour, if you're just joining us live here on the podcast, live on Spreaker, if you're listening on the download on one of our many platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, we're there. iHeartRadio, we're good. If you're listening on YouTube, thank you. I do appreciate it. But if you've missed the top of the hour, we're going to get into SummerSlam here shortly. I'm going to go over some news here because I don't want to ignore some of the stuff that's been coming out over the last couple of days. We're going to get into the SummerSlam card for this Saturday, and then we're going to have a top 10, my opinion, just want to put it out there because I know it's very subjective. That's the word. I said selective earlier. Subjective. Wrestling matches is like comedy. It's very subjective to the eye of the beholder. So this is my top 10. This is not a top 10 I've found online or anything like that. My top 10 picks for the best SummerSlam matches of all time. We're going to get into that here shortly. But we have a lot to discuss here. So it was announced a few days ago. I saved this because I wanted to bring this up. It was confirmed by WWE sources that Vince McMahon, the executive chairman of the company, Mr. McMahon himself, actually had a very, very difficult surgery that took place. It was unbeknownst to anyone. This was all on the DL. He had immediate spinal surgery. It was a very major life-altering operation, apparently. It took nearly 5 hours, and he is going to be out of action for quite some time. His duties, this actually happened as far back as the 21st of July, that's what I'm reading. So Vince has actually been out for quite some time at home, resting from this surgery, this major back surgery he had, and there's no telling when he will be back. And damn, for him to have such a major surgery at his age, Vince is, I believe, in his mid-70s now. That's crazy. Thank God he, survived. I know some people were probably wishing were wishing for a different outcome, which, God, shame you for thinking that, but, God bless him, he made it through, and he's at home wrestling. Right now, Triple H and Bruce Pritchard are running things for the Monday and Friday shows, as well as the premium live events. So WWE is in good hands, but this actually broke today, just before I went on the air, just an hour before we went on the air. This broke. WWE Executive Chairman Vince McMahon has been hit by a federal subpoena from a federal grand jury. A search warrant was executed on McMahon, who is currently, damn, I was wrong, he's late 70s, 77 years old, on July 17th, in response to multiple alleged payments made after being accused by multiple women of sexual misconduct. In their SEC filing on Wednesday, the WWE stated it has received voluntary and compulsory legal demands for documents, including from federal law enforcement and regulatory agencies concerning the investigation and related subject matters, per CNBC. WWE CEO Nick Khan said during an earnings call on Wednesday that he had no comment on the McMahon situation, adding they would help with any investigations. The WWE's filings also stated that McMahon went on medical leave after undergoing major spinal surgery. The WWE has also stated that McMahon will remain on medical leave until further notice, but will remain executive chairman. So, man, that's not looking good for Vince, man. He's got a federal subpoena. That's not good. Him and his good old buddy Trump, things aren't looking too good for both of them. That's the only thing I'm saying. I'm going to shut my mouth now because I'm going to say some shit I'm going to regret. But, so that's very, very telling. We'll keep more on that later. I will keep an eye on this story as it develops, and I will bring you guys updates and see what's going on with that for sure. Breaking news from Sports Illustrated: Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, and Hangman Adam Page have all re-signed multi-year deal extensions with AEW. They will remain with All Elite Wrestling. In addition to their work on screen, Omega and the Bucks will remain as executive vice presidents of the company. So the rumors about Kenny Omega possibly being, lured away by the WWE. There is no truth to that. Kenny Omega, Adam Page, and the Young Bucks are going to remain with AEW for the foreseeable future. Speaking of AEW, they have a big event coming up tonight. AEW is going to be presenting their 200th episode of Dynamite, and it's being billed as AEW Dynamite 200, with one of the biggest matches announced that's going to be taking place on the card. It's going to be in an anything goes match between AEW originals Penta El Zero Miedo facing Trent Beretta and Jon Moxley in a anything goes Falls Count Anywhere match live from Tampa, Florida this Wednesday, tonight, the 200th episode of AEW Dynamite. So that is one big match announced. That's probably the main event for the show, if I'm not mistaken. Other matches that have been announced for tonight, the AEW Women's World Championship will be on the line when Toni Storm defends the AEW Women's World Championship against Hikaru Shida in a one-on-one match. We're also going to get Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, the Elite, the Elite, in a trios match against Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. The Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles will be on the line when Aussie Open, the new Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, will defend the tag team titles against El Hijo de Vikingo and Commander. We're going to hear from the AEW World Champion MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, Chris Jericho, and Konosuke Takeshita. I think I butchered his name. I think they say it Takeshita. I do apologize to my Japanese fans out there that are listening live. I apologize. I totally said his name wrong. So it's Chris Jericho and Konosuke Takeshita taking on Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia in a tag team match. And then coming face-to-face in a, I don't believe they're having a match, but they're going to be coming face-to-face in a contract signing. The FTW World Champion Jack Perry will come face-to-face with Ring of Honor co-president and AEW official Jerry Lynn. This is all happening tonight live from the Yuengling Center in Tampa, Florida, live on TBS, AEW Dynamite 200. Tune in, fans. You're not going to want to miss that. It sounds like a pretty solid card. I'll definitely be watching that tonight. Just more wrestling to get in, to get excited about for this weekend's big event. If you are from the country of India, this is a big announcement for you. WWE has announced a huge house show in India for September. The company announced Monday evening that they will make their debut at the GMC Balayogi Indoor Stadium in Hyderabad, India on September 8th. It will be the first house show in India for WWE since 2017, when a show in New Delhi was headlined by Triple H defeating Jinder Mahal in a one-on-one match. Tickets go on sale for the event starting at noon Indian Standard Time. That's how it's written here. I could be wrong, but maybe that is true. This Friday, August 4th, at bookmyshow.com. An early pre-sale will also take place on bookmyshow.com a day prior, which is Thursday, tomorrow, August 3rd. Also at noon, International, I think that stands for International Standard Time. Wow, I'm so behind with my abbreviations. With fans being able to pre-register now. So that is going to be the WWE Presents Superstar Spectacle. Oh, God, I cannot talk today. WWE Superstar Spectacle. Yes, WWE Superstar Spectacle. Live Friday, September 8th, 2023. In Hyderabad, India. WWE International, man. They've been worldwide for damn near forever. So that's, it's great to see them trying to expand the market. So we had some bad news this past Friday night in a what would have been a great one-on-one match. Got cut short early because Rey Mysterio got knocked silly, as how they put it. He had a minor concussion in his match with fellow LWO member Santos Escobar in their number one contenders match for the United States Championship. Ray took a bump, and he was showing signs of concussions. He was showing signs of having a concussion after taking a suicide dive from Santos Escobar at ringside, and the match had to be stopped by the WWE doctors. This is not a storyline. This is legit. Actually, this was not a part of the show. Ray legit got knocked silly, and we wish Ray a speedy recovery. I know concussions, they take them seriously. We take them very, very seriously. So it was good that WWE saw the signs. The WWE doctors checked on Ray and said he could not continue, preventing further damage to Ray. So Santos Escobar won the match by TKO pretty much, and Santos Escobar has a United States Championship on the horizon. It will not be taking place at SummerSlam, as some would have assumed. It's actually going to be taking place the following week, next Friday, August 11th. It will be Santos Escobar challenging United States Champion Austin Theory for the United States Championship on Friday Night SmackDown. If you're a fan of the NWA, and if you're a fan, whoop whoop, of ICP, Insane Clown Posse, it has been announced live online by the man himself, Violent J, one half of the ICP, Insane Clown Posse. Whoop whoop. He will be in the corner of the clown tag team, the Brothers of Funstruction, as they challenge for the NWA World Tag Team titles. It doesn't say which date they will be appearing, but he may be appearing on both dates on August 26th and August 27th for the big NWA 75th anniversary show. Tickets are still on sale now at nwatix.com. Do not miss it. A big match announced for Impact's next big event, the Multiverse United 2, Impact and New Japan Pro Wrestling's joint show, which will be taking place August 20th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the 2300 Arena, of course, known to fans better as ECW Arena, the former ECW Arena. It'll be Multiverse United 2, for whom the bell tolls. Alex Shelley will be defending the Impact World Championship against the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Hiroshi Tanahashi. That's going to be an awesome match to see. Tanahashi representing New Japan, Alex Shelley representing Impact as its world champion, defending the title against a solid main eventer, former IWGP heavyweight champion Hiroshi Tanahashi. That's going to be a big, big match. I'm looking forward to that match, and you can actually see it live on Fight TV, the Fight TV app. That's FITE, Fight TV. It will be showing that live August 20th. A lot of big matches and big events coming here in the month of August. Let's see what else here. Okay, so it was announced, if fans don't know this, I don't know if I've talked about it here on the show, but there is a big movie coming out, and it's been given an official release date, December 22nd, in theaters this coming December. It will be the film about it's going to be a very tragic, sad film. I'm sure there's going to be some happy highlights in there, but it's definitely going to be a tearjerker for sure. The Iron Claw, coming live to theaters December 22nd. It will be the tale of the Von Erich family. Triumph and tragedy there. The Von Erichs, famously here in they're famous in professional wrestling, but famous here in the DFW area back in the late 70s, early 80s to late 80s. Kerry Von Erich, Kevin Von Erich, Mike Von Erich, David Von Erich. The Von Erich brothers were huge in professional wrestling, especially here in this pocket of the United States. And this movie is going to be coming out telling the tale of that family. Zac Efron will be starring as Kevin Von Erich. Jeremy Allen White from Shameless and the show The Bear, that's on Hulu, will be starring as Kerry Von Erich. And Harris Dickinson will be playing David Von Erich. So those are the three main Von Erichs that have been announced, that I know for a fact are being portrayed. MJF actually is going to be in the film portraying a professional wrestler. He's going to be portraying the kayfabe cousin of the Von Erichs, Lance Von Erich, who was not related to the Von Erichs in any way, and actually caused a lot of controversy to the Von Erichs because, the fans did not take to him at all. So MJF will be portraying Lance Von Erich in the film, and another AEW star, the brother of WWE superstar Dolph Ziggler, Ryan Nemeth, will actually be portraying the late great Gino Hernandez in the film. So I'm really excited for this movie. I cannot wait to see this December 22nd in theaters everywhere. The Iron Claw. Be on the lookout for that, guys. We're going to go ahead and take a short little break, and then we're going to get into the SummerSlam card, guys. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And we are back, fans, live on the IE Elite Wrestling Show. What is good? It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again. If you're just tuning in live, we just went over some wrestling news here, just a tidbit. There was a few more stories, but I think I'm going to save them for the next episode. It's not pressing, you know what I mean? But because I want to jump into SummerSlam right now. So this coming Saturday, if you don't already know, you should know. If you don't already know, the 2023 SummerSlam event is coming live this Saturday, August 5th. Live from Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. It is the 36th annual SummerSlam event. This event is as old as I am. The very first SummerSlam event was in the summer of 1987. I was born in January 1987. I've grown up with this pay-per-view. It is the 36th annual SummerSlam pay-per-view event. It's going to be coming live streaming on Peacock here in the United States and the WWE Network internationally. It'll also be the first SummerSlam live streamed on the streaming app Binge, which is only available in Australia, to our folks down under. That was a terrible accent. Yes, this is the big Ford Field. This is actually the first WWE event since WWE's WrestleMania 23, which took place April 2007. That was the last time the WWE held a huge event in there. And this is going to be the first time SummerSlam was held in Michigan since 1993, when that event was held in the Palace of Auburn Hills in Auburn Hills, Michigan. So wow, so WWE coming back to Detroit Rock City for the big SummerSlam event, and these are the matches that have been announced. They have not announced all the competitors for this match, but this past Friday night on SmackDown, it was announced by WWE official Adam Pearce that there will be a SummerSlam Battle Royal. It's unknown if this is going to be a part of the pre-show or on the main card. From the way they're talking about it, it's going to be on the main card. So a SummerSlam Battle Royal will take place at SummerSlam. That's really cool to hear. And it was announced this past Monday night on Raw. It will be an MMA mixed martial arts rules match Rowdy Ronda Rousey takes on the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, in a one-on-one MMA rules match. We're going to get a UFC-style match in the WWE ring. So Ronda going back to her roots, possibly finishing out her career in the WWE in a MMA-style match against one of her best friends outside of the ring. Definitely, this is not... They're definitely, this is for storyline purposes, of course, for those who are not in the know. They're definitely best friends outside the ring, but I feel like this storyline should help elevate Shayna Baszler back to that badass Shayna Baszler that we had back in her NXT days. Rowdy Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler in an MMA rules match. A singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Gunther, the Ring General, and one of the longest reigning Intercontinental Champions in history. As a matter of fact, 4 days ago, Gunther officially became the third longest reigning Intercontinental Champion with 414 days. That was 4 days ago, so now he's sitting at 418 days as Intercontinental Champion. He has now surpassed the late, great Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah! So Gunther has now had a longer reign than Macho Man did. That's crazy. So Gunther has now surpassed the legend like Macho Man Randy Savage. If he makes it past SummerSlam, he's etching ever closer to surpassing the reign of the Honky Tonk Man, which still sits atop the card of Intercontinental Championship reigns as number 1. But he has a tall order when he defends that title against the Scottish psychopath himself, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, of course, fell victim to Gunther at WrestleMania, was pinned in the middle of the ring during his triple threat match, also involving Sheamus for the Intercontinental title. It was one of the best matches of WrestleMania weekend for sure, and I feel like these two guys are going to put on a hell of a match once again, one-on-one in Detroit, Michigan. I believe this match is actually going to be opening the show because Logan Paul wants to be able to hop on a plane and fly to make sure he doesn't miss his brother's big fight against, I think he's fighting Nate Diaz, right? Or Nick Diaz? It's one of the Diaz brothers. Jake Paul's big fight is also that same night, on the same night as SummerSlam. So it's going to be, I believe this is going to be the opening match for SummerSlam. Logan Paul going one-on-one with Ricochet. That's going to be a great high-flying match. I feel like this match itself could go viral. This is going to be a true test for Logan Paul, I feel, in the ring. Logan Paul has not had a bad match since he's been in the WWE. He really hasn't. I have to give his props where props are due. He had a great first outing at WrestleMania last year with The Miz against the Mysterios. He had an even fantastic match against The Miz at SummerSlam last year. An even better match with Roman for the title later in the fall at Crown Jewel. His Royal Rumble tourney was great. His match with Seth Rollins was great. I mean, numbers don't lie and facts don't lie. Like, fact is fact. I got to give him props where props are due. Logan Paul is very good at wrestling. And I feel like him and Ricochet could have a fucking awesome match. I'm really looking forward to this. If they want to start the night out hot and just get everybody riled up and on their feet, this is probably the way to go, is to start the night off with Ricochet and Logan Paul. And in a big triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship, it will be Asuka defending the WWE Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair and the former champion Bianca Belair. This is going to be a show stealer too, I feel. All three of these women are very multi-talented. Bianca, she just ended, her reign ended. She had broken a record. She was the longest reigning women's champion up to that point. She is the longest reigning champion of this new modern era. And she's even had a longer reign than Charlotte Flair. I mean, she went back-to-back WrestleManias. She won the title, and then she retained the title at back-to-back WrestleManias. That's impressive. Bianca is definitely the future of the women's division. But don't sell yourself short. Charlotte Flair is looking at it like, hey, all these women have to bow down to the queen. That's very understandable because she has been the standard bearer since she got to the main roster. Asuka has been waiting in the wings to prove to everyone that she's just not a flash in the pan, and I feel like this is her opportunity. This could be a show-stealing match as well. For the World Heavyweight Championship, Seth freaking Rollins defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor. It's been 7 years. It's been stewing. It's been brewing. It's been eating away at him. 7 years. Finn Balor lost his opportunity to be a world champion. He won the Universal title, but did so as an injured man. He had to relinquish the title less than 24 hours later. He never saw a world title again, unless you count his NXT title reigns. But Finn Balor has something to prove, and I feel like this could be his night. I feel like it could be the night of the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day has all the accolades at the moment. Rhea Ripley, the women's world champion. Dominic Mysterio is the NXT North American champion. Damian Priest is Senior Money in the Bank. That leaves Finn without an accolade. I feel like this may be the night that Finn Balor walks out of Detroit with the World Heavyweight Championship, only if Senior Money in the Bank doesn't get the idea to cash in on his friend and partner in the Judgment Day. That is a story to tell, and we're going to be looking forward to that match as well. The rubber match. 1-1 apiece. This is the final match. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, goes 1-on-1 with the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. It's the third time. The first time around, Cody got the victory. The second time around, Brock defeated Cody by technical submission as Cody passed out from the armbar. He did not submit. Now this is the rubber match. Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, live in the middle of the ring at Ford Field in Detroit. I cannot wait. This should be a fucking awesome fight. I don't feel like so much has happened. Cody being beat down in front of his mother in his hometown crowd of Atlanta. This is going to be a fight. This is not going to be a match. They're going to beat each other, hopefully bloody. I hope they give them a pass for that because, blood is very rare in the WWE, but we shall see. This should be an awesome match. I cannot wait. And in the main event, Tribal Combat for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship and a recognition of Tribal Chief. The undisputed WWE Universal Champion, the current Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, defends the title against Jey Uso, his cousin. Main event Jey Uso, who's coming for the throne. He wants it. He needs it, and he wants to put his cousin in his place. This is going to be such an awesome match. The Bloodline storyline has been just an amazing feat in storytelling in the modern era of professional wrestling. There's people there that are so critical of it. I don't know how you can be, because it's been some of the best stuff that WWE has done in the last 10, 15, hell, 20 years. They are doing fantastic in this business right now. Roman Reigns is untouchable. Jey Uso is right there. He is the only man to have pinned Roman since December of 2019, and he vows to do it again this Saturday night in Ford Field, live in Detroit, Michigan. And the only way you can see that, fans, is if you subscribe to Peacock and watch it live on air this Saturday. Or if you're international, you subscribe to the WWE Network and watch it live streaming this weekend. Or if you're in Detroit and you have a ticket, you're going to be sitting there live in Ford Field watching this match. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, big match. This is family. This is blood. The bloodline has already imploded, and this, I feel like, could be the finality of the night. This could be the finality of the event. I have no idea what's going to happen, and that's the best part about it. That's what makes it so just... I hate to use an old phrase. This is must-see television. The WWE... Yes, Larry just wrote me here in the chat room. Are you saying that WWE has been redeemed? I feel... Yes, I do. I really do. WWE's television has never been better. WWE is must-see television now. And if you check the ratings right now, WWE is killing it. WWE, and professional wrestling itself is killing it. As far as viewership, WWE has never had numbers like this in quite some time. They're hitting over 2 million viewers at a time on Friday nights, and that's because of the Bloodline storyline. I would have to say very much so. It's anchored by that. It's definitely anchored by that because that is the main storyline. But you got to give it up to the guys and gals in the ring because great in-ring action, great competitors. The WWE is, I feel like they have one of the best rosters in professional wrestling today. They're putting on fantastic matches every week, and it's hard to hate on it unless that's what you aim to do. If you just put aside your negativity and put aside your allegiances to to other promotions, All Elite Wrestling, cough, cough, AEW's, drones, excuse me, ooh, got a little something caught in my throat there. You got to look at it from a neutral standpoint. And right now, WWE is putting on some of the best professional wrestling television out there. I got to say, WWE is definitely number one, as they have been for quite some time. NXT is coming back now. I feel NXT hit a down point at one point, but I feel like they're starting to climb back up. Their premium live events have been awesome. Over the last year, they've been putting on some great matches. I feel that the future of the WWE is in good hands. You got a lot of talent being hired by the WWE, coming straight out of college, and some from the independent scene. Dragon Lee is actually challenging Dirty Dominic Mysterio for the NXT North American title. I think that's going to be happening next Tuesday, as a matter of fact, I believe. And Dragon Lee is an awesome luchador from Mexico. He chose WWE and NXT over going to AEW and Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Because he feels like that's the show. You know what I mean? And WWE, I feel they need. We need someone, to take the place of Rey Mysterio eventually, and I feel Dragon Lee could be that guy. He's very talented. Fans really take to him already. I feel like this could be an experiment that actually works out for the best, because WWE has tried already in the past. They've tried with Kalisto, they've tried with Sin Cara, and it didn't work. Fans didn't take to them like they took to Rey. I feel Dragon Lee has the answer, and I feel like fans are going to take to him like they took to Rey. But his time will come. Let him simmer and let him grow as a competitor. Let him learn the WWE style, and then he could come up to the main roster when he's good and when they feel he's ready to. And I feel like he's going to knock it out of the park once he gets there, because he's a very great competitor. WWE is hitting on all cylinders, guys. Dominic is coming into his own. He's drawing heat that I've never seen before. That guy, he can't even talk on the microphone. Fans boo him out of the ring. He's just a fantastic superstar. WWE is doing some of his best work, and if you're not checking out, you really, really should. Now, we're about 8 minutes out, and I want to get into my countdown. This is my opinion. In my opinion, the best matches in SummerSlam history. Drum roll, please. Do we have a drum roll effect? I don't even know. Is there a drum roll effect? No, there isn't. Oh, well, I'll just do it myself. Drum roll, please. All right. Martine. Oh, I said my real name. Ah! I broke kayfabe. Anyway, the SoCal Saint presents his top 10 picks for the best SummerSlam matches in SummerSlam history. Number 10. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam 2014. This was not so much a great match, but just a great ass whipping. John Cena was the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion at the time, and Brock Lesnar was just now coming off of his victory of breaking The Undertaker's undefeated WrestleMania win streak. So, at this point, Brock has been rebuilt up as unstoppable, pretty much. Like, who could be, if you beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, who could beat you? And everybody thought, well, John Cena can, because John Cena beats everyone. Not tonight. Not that night. On that night, it was on that night, it was Brock Lesnar throwing John Cena around like a rag doll, and that was the night that Brock Lesnar coined the phrase "Suplex City." Suplex City, bitch. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what happened. He treated, pardon my French, he treated John Cena like a little bitch. He threw him around for like 10, 15 minutes. I think he gave him like 16 German suplexes in a row, and finally defeated John Cena to become the new undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion. That is my pick for number 10 of best SummerSlam matches. Number 9, Owen Hart, SummerSlam 1994. After their classic at WrestleMania 10 that year, would anyone think that they could top that match? Well, I mean, a young fan like myself, maybe not so much. But looking back at watching those matches back to back, I say it definitely lives up to the hype and definitely lives up to the WrestleMania match, maybe even better. They put on a very great match, and the crazy thing about that wasn't even the main event. The main event of that year was Undertaker versus The Undertaker. Yes, it was Imposter Taker versus the real Undertaker. That was how SummerSlam 94 ended. I definitely feel like that should have been flip-flopped because Bret and Owen definitely deserved to have the final spotlight of the night. They had the match of the night at SummerSlam 94. Bret and Owen had a great steel cage match. Bret and Owen had a very great feud, and that was definitely the definite period of that feud, and one of my favorite SummerSlam matches of all time. Coming in at number 8. The very first ever tables, ladders, and chairs match. Yes, that is going to be from SummerSlam 2000. It is the Dudley Boys versus Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff. The very first tables, ladders, and chairs match, and they literally had a triangle ladder match at WrestleMania that year in Anaheim, California. But then it was, I remember it to this day, and the way that it was presented, Commissioner Foley getting in the ring on Raw, he said, "You guys, I'm tired of you guys fighting. It's going to end one way or another. It's going to be tables. It's going to be ladders. It's going to be chairs. Tables, ladders, chairs. Oh my!" Yes, that's right. And that was what Foley announced, and it was the 3 teams there. These guys put on just fantastic matches, and it was crazy how like the WWE put that together. Because it was like the tables, of course, coincided with the Dudleys putting people through tables. Chairs went with Edge and Christian for their concerto head-smashing chair shot that they would do. And, of course, the ladders made famous by Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. So it all was an element of each team brought together into this concept that, man, I'm sure it took a few years off of these guys' careers. But God bless them. They put everything on the line for us to entertain us fans. And, man, that was a fantastic match. Coming in at number 8, that's TLC, the very first ever TLC at SummerSlam 2000. Coming in at number 7, another ladder match, definitely one of my favorites because it involves my favorite wrestler of all time, God rest his soul, God bless you, Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat. It is the ladder match for the custody of Dominic. That's right, the ladder match for the custody of Dominic. The concept was a little silly, yes, but the match itself was fantastic. It was Eddie Guerrero going one-on-one with Rey Mysterio in a ladder match for the custody of Dominic. It was leading up to that, of course, it was revealed by Eddie Guerrero that he was the biological father, which he really wasn't, but, storyline-wise, he was the biological father of Dominic and gave Dominic Mysterio to Rey to raise because Rey and his wife couldn't have a child or whatever the reason was. It was, whatever. WWE 2005, guys. And this was one of the best matches. This was the final pay-per-view match between Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, and it was crazy to think that just a couple months later, actually 3 months later, that Eddie Guerrero would no longer be with us. He passed away in November of 2005, but he leaves that legacy of great matches behind, and this is definitely one of the best ladder matches ever. A silly reason to have a ladder match, but definitely one of the best ladder matches ever. Eddie Guerrero, and I mean, from that match, from that feud, actually came the phrase "I'm your Poppy," and those "I'm your Poppy" t-shirts grew from that. All right, coming in at number 6, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2003. Fantastic WWE title match. Definitely one of my favorites. I got to speed it up here because we're almost done here. Number 6, it's going to be HBK versus Triple H in a non-sanctioned match at SummerSlam 2002. HBK and Shawn Michaels returned to the ring for the first time since WrestleMania 14 in 1998 against Triple H, and they had an awesome match. Number 5, also from SummerSlam 2002, The Rock defending the title and losing to Brock Lesnar. Number 4, I'm going to go with CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar from SummerSlam 2013. That was a great match. You got... Oh, wow, I'm going to have to speed it up here. Number 3, I got Bret Hart versus The Undertaker, SummerSlam 1997. Number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker at SummerSlam 98. And number 1... Oh, no. I'm drawing a blank here. Oh, God. I'm sorry, guys. I'm running a little behind. I do apologize. I'm running over time. I do apologize. I'm sorry. We're going to have to end it. I'm going to end it with, for number 1, Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog, SummerSlam 1992, Wembley Stadium. And with that, guys, I got to leave you. Thank you for tuning in to the special Wednesday edition of the SummerSlam special for the IE Elite Wrestling Show. Follow me on X, because I can't say Twitter anymore, at IE Elite Pod. Check you guys out. I'll check you guys next week. Peace. Take care. Love you guys.